the last couple weeks, okay? I have a lot of technique that I want to get through tonight. I want to start out with some defense on our feet a little bit, and then we'll go to some top and bottom stuff, okay? So, if I'm wrestling Tanner, I know that he's a good wrestler, he's going to be attacking my legs. So I've got to protect my legs, right? My hands, my head, first and second line of defense, right? I want to be able to stop it with my hands. My hands are low. I'm not here like this, right? My hands are lower than my elbows. I'm not reaching hard. If I'm going to reach, I like reaching with my back leg hand, keeping this one down so I'm here. That way if he shoots, I can still down block and move my leg back, right? I never reach with my lead leg hand. I never do that. It's always here. Once I secure this, now I can come here. Because I can block him if he shoots when I'm here. I can still hold him off, right? Or I'm coming in tight and climbing the rope. Okay, so I'm securing something, a clinch, and then I'm moving up. So, if he's shooting on me, we've talked a lot about moving our feet, right? Being quick on our feet. And this is why I don't want to take big heavy steps. Right? I don't want to cross my feet. I don't want to bring my feet together. I'm going to be light on my feet. My weight's on the balls of my feet, not my heels, right? I want to be able to move fast. If he's going to shoot on me, I want to be able to down block and move those legs back. Okay? Remember how we talked the first day with our stance, right? I want my face to be at the same level as his head, my head the same level as his. If I'm like this, I'm in trouble, right? He's going to get under me. I want to be able to take shots and block it with my face. You kind of got to get used to that, right? If I'm here and he's shooting, I'm blocking with whatever it takes. So be ready to take those shots here in your hands, okay? If he gets past my hands and my head, I've got to be sprawling and trying to down block, okay? If he can get to here, now we've got a different set of problems, right? Tanner's a really tough wrestler. He's good from this position. He's strong from this position. He's going to be pulling this leg in, right? What would I like to do? I'd really like to square my hips up and straighten that leg back, push here, switch my hips and get back to my front headlock. We worked on that last week, right? Okay, so I'm going to kind of change gears here a little bit. We want to do what we did last week. That's great defense, right? Really extending that leg, making him carry all my weight. That's good stuff. So stick with that. I'm going to show you a little something different too tonight, okay? From this same position, you'll end up in this position a million times in your wrestling career. A million and probably 2 million times, right? So, I'm here. He got past my hands. He got past my head, right? He's pulling this in tight. I'm having a tough time extending that leg, right? He's a good wrestler. So, all I'm going to do is I'm going to go shoulder deep here. I'm going all the way as high as I can get this hand, and I'm going to grab the squishy part of his body, right? His ribs are hard. He's a little ticklish. His hip is hard. Right in between the ribs and the hip is a little squishy part. That's what I'm aiming for. I'm going to grab as much of it as I can, okay? So I'm going shoulder low, hand high, grabbing the squishy part, okay? I'm going to take a big step with this knee, and I'm going to cover his head and his shoulder. I'm going to smash everything down to here. Now, as I come down, I'm planting this hand, and I'm flipping it. When he lands like that, I'm going to quickly hook his hip with this hand. Here. I'm kicking that leg back, okay? So, I'm using my hand, I'm using my head. He gets past both, he gets to that leg, I'm here. I'm trying to sprawl, he's pulling it in, he's trying to finish on me, I'm trying to get his head down. I come squishy part, right? Shoulders going low. If you're here, you're not going to be able to get it. I want to wrap as much of my arm around his body as I can. So I'm going shoulder low, hand high, squishy part, stepping up here with the leg to block everything. I'm crunching him. Good. And I throw it. When I do that, I'm going to kick the leg that he has and catch this hip and swing around for 2. Okay? Any questions? You guys need to see it from a different angle? He's here. Boom. I'm trying to straighten this leg out. Taking this shoulder low, hand high, grabbing the squishy part, stepping mid, planting this hand and throwing it, and kicking here, catching a thigh, a knee, a hip, and spinning here. Okay, pull with that hand. Any questions? Want to add anything? Okay, you guys got it? Okay, on three. 1, 2, 3. So, when Tanner's shoes on me, right, and I'm here, I'm still giving hip pressure. I'm still pushing in off this foot. I'm still pushing in off this foot, right? If I don't do that and he sucks me to my rear end here, I'm in trouble. Okay, he's gonna score. Okay, yeah. So I've still got to be tough in this position, right? I'm not just falling over. I'm fighting. I'm pushing in. I'm fighting. Okay. I'm trying to get this head down. I'm trying to get this leg back. He's sucking it in. A lot of you are missing what I'm doing with my knee. I saw some people go in the wrong direction. So pay attention to little things here, okay? I'm coming shoulder. A lot of you are getting this part right. You're doing deep shoulder, high hand, squishy part. You're all doing great until you get to this point. Some of you are just trying to dump him from here. And that's not going to work. Okay? What makes this work is I crunch him with my knee and my thigh like that. Like I'm stepping on his head and I'm blocking that shoulder. I'm trapping everything, squeezing in between my legs. Okay? That's like I'm blocking everything. Okay? You've got to get that part. So you've got to crunch him with your knee. Okay? Second thing is I'm reaching for the mat and I'm throwing it. Okay? So I'm here. This is step 1. Step 2, I'm taking a big step here. Now notice, I'm not falling to my side. I saw guys do that. That's not what I'm doing. Okay, you got to pay attention to these little things, okay? So step 1, you guys are all getting to hear really well. Step 2, big step, I'm planting this foot, but now the thunder's coming, okay? Boom, right there. I'm trapping that and I'm on this shin. I'm throwing it. At no point am I going down to this side. At no point am I laying down. Right? Now, I'm here, I kick this leg, and I'm coming around. So I'm reaching for a thigh or a hip. Okay? One thing that I can do too, let's swivel a little bit. Stacy showed me this. Once I come here, boom, and I catch this, if I'm looking for this tricep right here, I can catch this tricep, pull that in tight, chest to chest. I can even swim for a reverse half right here. If I catch this here, I can still get to a reverse half too. Okay? So let's get your points first, but then we can wait for that pin. But you guys are not stepping and crunching. Does that make sense? Don't fall to your side. What am I going to here? I'm going to this hand. Here. Maybe the hip, but I don't really want to be on the hip. I want to be here so I can kick and move. I'm catching. I'm trying to catch this tricep or even this tricep. Okay? If I get my reverse half right here, I'm going to be in business. Even if you get this tricep to hold things tight, you can come back to here, okay? Just get out to your T, stay chest to chest, just like a half, right? Okay, I want to see you guys hit this just for a few more minutes, but get the steps right, okay? Big step, crunch, post, and throw, okay? On 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I have some other things that I want to show, but this made me think of something, right? So what kind of shot did Tanner take on me for me to hit that move? What was he hitting? Yeah, he's hitting a single leg, right? Where's his head? His head's on the inside. So some of you guys, I had one guy come up and ask me, well, what happens if his head's on the outside? It's a whole, that move's obsolete now, okay? Don't use that move. If I'm wrestling Tanner, and he hits a high crotch on me, his head's on the outside, Now I've got a whole different fight. I've got a whole different defense, okay? So if he goes head on the outside, high crotch, first thing I'm doing is I'm getting hard with my hips. Now, there's a lot of things that you can do from here. One thing that I like to do really, really fast is I like to come underneath and I like to block this arm. Why? Can't double off. He can't double off, okay? Now it's a different fight for him, okay? He can't double off. The first thing I'm going to do is take his angle away. Right now he wants to create an angle, right? I want to take that angle away. So I'm going to take a big step and squat. Boom, here. Just like a catcher catching a home plate, catching a pitch at home plate, right? So I'm blocking. I'm going to take a big step and squat, but I'm driving myself into it. If I just squat and I pull myself back, I've created a bigger problem for myself, right? So when I squat, I'm powering into him. I'm creating pressure. So I'm here. I might even pull this foot back a little bit to give me a little leverage. Here, I'm driving in. What I'm aiming for here is two things. I'm coming to this ankle, I'm coming cross face, and I'm going to throw that ankle and move into him. But you got to be powerful. Okay, this is why we lift hard in the weight room, right? So I'm here. I'm blocking so he can't double off. I'm taking his ankle away. I'm going to step this foot back. I'm going to take this big step right to here, take his angle away. I'm creating my angle. I'm getting my angle. Boom. I'm still pressuring in, but I'm looking for this ankle and a cross face. If I get this ankle, I'm going to pick it up, I'm driving in, and I'm going to throw that ankle, use my cross face to extend here. Okay? So that's one way for you to do a high crotch. Okay? Second way, more advanced guys, right? He hits a high crotch, boom. What did I do? Okay? He came hard. I gave him a little hip. I bumped him. I moved his head to the inside. I switched hands. I kept his head down. And I went to my good sprawl position, right? Where we want to be. Chest up, weight on his shoulders, feet back, coming to my front headlock. Or I might end up where we just were. Boom. Here, swishy part. Boom. Right? Okay? So, two ways to defend a high crotch. I bump and get his head to the inside. When I do it, I'm switching hands and extending that leg. Make sense? Or I take his ankle away. I block, move this foot back, I squat, I'm driving into him, but I'm going cross face, picking up that ankle, and throwing it. You guys think you can do both those? That ankle and a cross face. I'm exploding into him, and I'm throwing that leg. I'm not just sitting here and picking up the ankle with just this arm. Because I don't have very much strength from that position, but I have a lot of strength from here. Does that make sense? I'm using my whole body, okay? Okay, good. There's a couple more things that I want to get to tonight, okay? I want to do one thing on top and one thing on bottom. Since we're starting with folk style season. So let me start from a position that you guys end up in a lot. And I know because I've coached for a long time. And everybody ends up right here, right? That guy breaks us down. And this guy's on top. He's taking tons of hip pressure. He's keeping us down. We're like, oh, coach, I can't do anything, right? Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple things that you can do. He's going to be on one side or the other. He can't cover both legs. That's a stall ride. The ref will call it stalling right away, okay? So we can't do that. So we don't have to worry about that, right? So one thing that we've got to do is we don't want to give up our wrists. So one thing that I'll have my guys do is rather than being here where it makes it easy for him to grab my wrists, I'm going to keep my wrists away from him. There's a couple ways that I can do that. I like driving my elbows in. I like bringing my wrists up and out. So whenever I'm on bottom, it's here. It's never here, ever. It's here. Get used to this, okay? This way, if he goes to get a 2-on-1 or a 1-on-1, I can create pressure against him. I can move here and get him farther away. So if he's going for this arm, I'm trying to push this away. And he might do that, right? He might He might get one, but man, I'm pushing back into him. I'm getting those wrists away. Because if he can suck those wrists under, I'm in trouble. Okay, with capital T. So I'm here, and I'm keeping my wrists away from danger. Okay, that's huge. What, Roman?
What if you get on your wrist and then you're going to get his hand off his wrist, you grab the wrist.
Okay, Roman just asked, what happens if he gets a wrist, and then I try to clear it, and he gets the other wrist? Okay, that's a really good question. So there's a lot of things that we can do. If it's one-on-one like this, I'm just going to crawl with my hands on the mat and straighten them, and then keep my wrists away. Okay? If he's got a two-on-one, I've got to point this elbow, because what does he want to do? He wants to suck it under and drive me over the top of it. I've got to create a kickstand. I've got to push back into him and point that elbow so he can't take me over that elbow. Okay? Then I've got to hook in this hand and try to pull that off and then walk that hand down. Okay? Keep that wrist up. Alright? So, you'll work on this a lot over your wrestling career. You'll work on clearing these wrists and keeping them away from the offensive guy, okay? So let's say that we've cleared our wrists, we're in a good position, we're here. He's on top, he's going to be on one side or the other, okay? I want to show you just a little quick way to get away. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this foot in the mat. So the side that guy is not on, I'm going to post that leg, okay? When I post that leg, it's going to bring this hip up. See this hip? And I'm just going to slide that foot underneath and come to my sit-out position. Okay? Works really well. It works really good for heavier guys too, heavy weights. Okay? So I'm here. He's creating tons of pressure. I post this leg. I bring that hip up. And I slide this leg through. And I'm creating my sit-out position. Okay? This is fast. Okay? So I'm here. Boom. Come in my sit-out position. I'm creating space. And I'm going to hit my hip heist. Okay? So, when I get to this sit-out position, you gotta get used to this. I would encourage you guys to play with this position a lot. So in my sit-out position, when he's on me, there's a few things that I want to do. If I push him back into him, he's just going to snap me back, and I'm going to be in trouble. Don't get sucked back. Okay? Alright, so, I clear my wrist. I bring one foot up, I raise that hip, I come to my sit-out, bottom leg comes through. Okay? I'm working on clearing this now. Here's my problem area, right? Last thing I want to do is give up a cross wrist here. That's no good. So, I'm going to keep my wrists away. I might push and get an elbow on the inside, but I'm getting my elbows on the inside. Right here. I'm going to pop my hands on the mat. I'm going to bring my butt to my heels. How many of you guys have done a hip heist? Please, every hand in the room raise. Please, 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 please. Okay, let me open my eyes. All right, not bad. Okay, good. Okay, so I'm going to bring my hips to my heels, and then I'm going to hip heist. Hips to the heels, one foot in the mat, boom. Dragging an arm, why? Wave at my mom. Right? Why? Why is this arm coming up?
If he tries to circle around and get the leg.
He's going to come around, right? As soon as he feels me go, right? I hit like he's coming around, and if I don't create this arm and this separation and square up to him, he'll come right around and he's on top again. Okay? All right, so we're going to spend some time here because I'm throwing a lot at you guys, right? So, step one, clear the wrists. My wrists are up and out, my elbows are in the mat. Step two, I post that leg. Step three, I bring the bottom leg through and get to my sit out. Step four is what? What do you think?
Walk out.
Say it. Elbows on the inside, right? I'm getting my elbows to the inside. Step five. Pop my hands, bring my heels to my head, my hips to my heels, my butt to my heels. Last step is what? Hip heist. Right? You guys know hip heist is just going from crab crawl to bear crawl. Right? Right? You guys should do this 194 times before bedtime every night. Right? Okay, I'm here. Wrists are cleared, post, bottom leg comes through. I'm getting my elbows on the inside, I'm here. My hands are tight. Everything's pretty tight here. I'm still pushing back in, but not so much that I'm gonna get sucked back, okay? If he does that, I'm posting my hands and bringing my hips up under me, okay? Now, when I bring my hips to my heels, I'm gonna bring one foot in the air, like this. This knee will never touch the mat. This knee will go over the top and touch the mat, okay? So, when I do it in one motion, this leg goes underneath, that knee never touches. Top leg, hip heist and goes over the top. So I'm here. See that? Okay? And I wave at my mom so the guy doesn't come around behind me, okay? Anything to add, Tanner?
What if my opponent does when I'm right here? What if he does get my wrist? What do we do?
Elbow.
Yeah?
What do I do?
Elbow inside his elbow.
I'm going to straighten that arm and create a hole. See that little triangle right there? Now I get the elbow in, roll the wrist over the top, and get my elbows in it. Good point. Really, really good point. You got to beat the 2-on-1 before you move to the next step. I can't try to go to the next step if he's got my wrists. So rule number 1 or job number 1, once I get to the sit-out position, I've got to clear my wrists. Okay? I like to straighten that arm, get an elbow on the inside, and just either push that off or roll the wrist over the thumb. Okay? So if it's here, I roll my wrist over the thumb. Thumb's the weakest part of the grip, right? I'm just rolling that wrist over the thumb, and he can't hold on, especially if I'm a little sweaty. Okay?
Coming right back to your elbows in.
Yeah, good point. Coming right back to my elbows in, and I'm popping. I mean, it's fast and explosion. I'm creating separation with my hips, okay? Okay, any questions? Okay. So, a couple things. You're going to need to practice this, okay? You're going to need to practice this. You've got to get a feel for being in that sit-out position so you're not getting sucked back, okay? Another thing that Coach Cox was saying, he saw a lot of guys with their hands out here like this, right? Where are my hands, guys?
Inside.
Yeah, I'm going elbows in tight first, right? And then I'm planting my hands. When I plant my hands, everything's tight, right here. I don't want him to get underneath again, right? I don't want him to get underneath again. Now I can push off, and everything's more controlled. If I'm out here, you know, he breaks me down to a side or gets a wrist, okay, it's trouble, okay? Okay, we have about 10 minutes, and I promise you I'll show you something from on top, okay? So I wanted to hit some defense on our feet tonight. I wanted to hit a move from on bottom, and I wanted to hit something on top. So I'm going to show you something really, really good. Great technique, okay? I'm assuming you guys know how to break guys down, right? So we're going to break guys down. I always like the chop and bump to get to my cross wrist, okay? So I'm going chop and bump. I'm getting this cross wrist here. I'm keeping this wrist and I'm going to pull it up. I want to climb the rope. I'm looking to get my free hand to the elbow, okay? When I do this, I'm creating tons of pressure. I'm not on my knees ever, ever, ever when I'm on top. Creating tons of pressure. I'm pushing in with my shoulder, and I'm pulling this arm, okay? I'm going to climb the rope. What I'm looking for is to get this hand above his elbow, okay? So look, I'm here, I'm pressing in with my feet. I'm driving, I'm sliding him on this mat. He's like, man, this guy weighs 500 pounds. I'm never going to get away, right? Well, you don't have to be so fast, okay? So if I can get my shoulder here, I'm pushing down. I want to pin that shoulder to the mat. When I do that, I reach under and I get to my elbow. That's what I want right there. You see that? That's money. That means I'm going to get a pin. Okay? When I get to that elbow, I am sucking it in tight and I'm just going to walk in a circle. It's easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I'm right here. Right? I'm just going to walk my feet in a circle. Watch what happens. Okay? His arms are crossed. I never let go of that elbow. And his shoulders are flat. My weight, because I pivot. I don't slide to the other side. Here's the important part. I'm here. His shoulder's my pivot point. When I walk my feet around, my chest stays on his chest. I see so many guys go like this. Coach, that move never works. Right? Because you're doing it wrong. Watch. Watch. I'm here. I keep my shoulder below his shoulder. Now I can get two hands on that elbow and pull it in tight. And I walk my feet in a circle. Where does my chest stay? My chest stays on top. And he's pinned. Okay? When you do this right, this is so effective. Okay? You guys saw on our team last year, Brandon Van Tassel. He probably led the state in pins. 5A, 6A, 4A, doesn't matter. He probably had the most pins, okay? And that was his go-to move right there. Okay, they call it a body spiral. Okay? Body spiral. Pull that elbow up, pull it in tight, get both hands on it. Walk your feet around, but you have to pivot on top. Okay, we've got a short amount of time. I want you guys to try it a couple times. You want to add anything, Coach?
Never on your toes. I mean, never on your knees. Always on your toes.
Always on your toes.
Okay.
All of that weight is pressing down. I don't want to be 175 pounds right now. Like, I want to be 1,000. I want to be 1,000. I want to be 1,000 pounds. Right? Okay? Be aggressive. Okay. Let's hit it a couple times, and then we'll be able to give a cheer and get out of here. On three. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. Body spiral.